Uh-oh, more bad news for Donald Trump. We've got a new poll about his approval rating, and it ain't good. Here's an article from Fox News reporting on Quinnipiac's latest poll. Americans' concerns over the economy, and specifically inflation and tariffs, appears to be partially fueling the downward trend of President Donald Trump's approval ratings in a new national poll. Trump stands at just 41% approval and 53% disapproval. This according to a Quinnipiac University survey conducted April 3rd to the 7th. According to the new Quinnipiac poll, Trump stands at 40% approval and 55% disapproval on his handling of the economy. And asked how the president is dealing with the issue of trade, only 39% of respondents said they approved, while 55% gave Trump a thumbs down. Guys, we shouldn't be afraid of this guy. We really shouldn't. He is the most unpopular president at this point in his presidency in American history, or at least as long as we have, polls on this subject. Donald Trump should be in a honeymoon period still, right? He's not even been in office for 3 months. This is the honeymoon period for most presidents. They're riding high in the polls at this point in time. Donald Trump is sinking like a stone. Donald Trump is destroying everything. Everything he's doing with the economy, crashing the markets. I'm doing tariffs. Oh, I'm taking them off. Oh, I'm putting them back on. Oh, I'm jacking them up for China. Oh, they're still on for Mexico and Canada. This guy is a disaster. And the economy is headed to recession. Nothing he did in pausing some of these tariffs for 90 days is going to do anything to prevent the recession that is headed our way. He took a strong economy that no one was predicting was heading towards recession and now is driving it into a ditch, and nearly everyone is at least predicting a severe economic downturn, if not an outright recession. All the things he promised to do for people, all the things that he promised to improve starting on day one, prices and every damn thing else, all the ridiculous promises he made, none of it is going to happen. Everything that he said he would improve is going to be made worse. And this 41% approval rating, in the not too distant future, he and MAGA will be wishing they still had 41% approval ratings. Look at the organic uprisings around the country against Donald Trump. Again, it's not even been 3 months. The town hall meetings that have gone so badly for Republicans that they've had to cancel them. They don't do them anymore because they're scared to face the voters. The protests that erupt all around the country. There is growing opposition to this man, and it's only going to become more intense as time goes by and as he continues to absolutely destroy everything. This man should not be feared, okay? If you fear this man, it will freeze us in place. It will freeze us into cowardice. Do not be afraid of this man. Do not be afraid of Republicans. They need to be afraid of us, and they should be. Because despite what you might hear from these MAGA lunatics, Donald Trump is not popular. His policies aren't popular. All the things that they brag about, that they own the libs about, right, on social media, none of it's popular with the American people. Making Canada the 51st state, that's got like 75% of the people in this country disapprove. The only people who approve of that are like the hardcore Trump cult. Same thing with taking over Greenland. Same thing with renaming the Gulf of America. Yeah, I just read about the unpopularity of his economic policies, especially these tariffs. This man is not popular. And pretty soon, as we get closer to the midterm elections, Republicans are going to start feeling the heat. And I don't expect, depending upon what this guy does, and you never know, because this is one sick, twisted SOB. Who the hell knows what he's going to do in the next, in the coming weeks and months, in the next year and a half before the midterms. But, unless he does something really batshit insane that forces Republicans even to join the impeachment chorus. I don't see it happening until the midterms. But after the midterms, I think Republicans are going to get an historic ass kicking. And I think the political landscape is going to be much, much different after the midterms. And I think at that point, anything may be possible, including what I think should begin the first day of the new Congress is impeachment proceedings. Not just to impeach him again, but to impeach him and to convict him in the Senate and remove him from office. And then in 2028, when we win back control of the White House, let the prosecutions begin. And by the way, if he committed any state crimes, prosecutions can begin the second he gets removed from office. Because any pardon by President J.D. Vance at that point, and by the way, don't fear him either. I hear it all the time. Oh, but J.D. Vance will be president and he's even worse. First of all, no one is worse than Donald Trump. Okay. And do not fear J.D. Vance. If we just remove Donald Trump from office, that means we had a popular uprising in this country, which will have put the fear of God in the entire Republican Party, including J.D. Vance. He will be too afraid to do a damn thing. So don't worry about, J.D. Vance and the Project 2025 people will still be in place. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do squat. Also, nobody likes J.D. Vance. He does not have charisma. He does not have the mindless cult following like Donald Trump does. Don't worry about J.D. Vance. And by the way, first things first, okay? Let's worry about J.D. Vance after we impeach and remove Donald Trump. How about that? But in the meantime, take some heart in these poll numbers that even Fox News is reporting. 41%. 41%. That's pretty freaking low. And he's not even been in office for 3 months. So take some heart. We can do this. This man deserves to be impeached. This man deserves to be removed. And this man deserves to be prosecuted for his many, many crimes. And don't worry about the ifs, ands, or what about this and what about that. Don't worry about it. Okay? Right now, our focus needs to be on driving this man's approval rating as low as they possibly can go. And I think they can go into the low 30s. And that's where we need to put him. We need to bring his popularity down so far that the only people who still support him are his hardcore cult. And don't talk yourself into believing that they make up a greater percentage of this country than they do. Nobody knows for sure, but if I had to guess, the cult constitutes 20-25% of the country, maybe. Not everyone who voted for him is part of his cult. And most people, a lot of people didn't even vote at all. Okay? There are tens of millions of eligible voters who didn't even bother voting for all. And they are definitely not part of the cult. If they were part of his cult, they would have crawled over broken glass naked and covered in honey. I don't know why I threw the honey in there. I guess because the broken glass would stick. I don't know. But anyway, you get the point. If they were truly part of the cult, they wouldn't have stayed home. They would have done anything to vote for their cult leader. They didn't. They're not part of the cult. Most people in this country are not. Let's drive his poll numbers down into the low 30s and then tell me that none of this is possible. You put his poll numbers in the low 30s, then you tell me that impeaching him and removing him will never be possible. I don't believe it for a second. This man has gotten away with far too much. And that needs to come to an end at some point in time. Impeach, remove, prosecute. Thanks for watching.